Hello and welcome back to Rams Talk Introducing, and we're here today on a really exciting day because Derby County have signed a striker. Now, I know you all might be thinking, surely, Jake, you can't be telling the truth here, but you'd be surprised to hear they actually have signed a striker, and not just that, we've signed a striker for money. And we signed a striker from abroad. Now that very, very rarely happens. I guess the most notable one would be Paulo One Chopper we bought in from a team over in Costa Rica. He came over, he did okay. So let's hope this guy can do the same. So Derby's new striker signing, Lars-Jørgen Salvesen. I've been told by my guest today that that's how you actually say it. So hopefully I'm right. Joining me today is the man with probably the longest title we've ever had on this podcast before. It's Rogvi Baldvinsson. He's an ex-Faroe Island international. He's told me he's got more caps than Wikipedia says. He's probably got closer to 58, 59 than he does for 49 on Wikipedia. He's played against the man himself in the Norwegian top flight, and he's currently a pundit working on every Viking game. So who better to tell us all about our new signing? Rogvi, how are you, mate?
I'm fine. I'm just shown to my guest room because my girlfriend had some girlfriends coming over. So not in the best mood, but I'll do. I'm glad to be with you.
I'm glad you're here too. Yeah, I think we've all been there, haven't we? So just to kick us off, Rogvi, looking at the player we've signed, Lars-Jørgen Salvesen, he's a big striker, a big number 9. Derby have really needed a big number 9 for a while. He looks like he's had some really good form over the last year or so. I mean, I'm looking at this: 12 goals, 3 assists in 27 games. How impressed have you been with him in the last year or so?
Well, quite impressed. He's done well for one of the best teams in Norway, a Norwegian league that just keeps on getting better and better. With Glimt doing really well, and in Europe recently had a good game at Old Trafford against Manchester United. So, and he's been a force atop for Viking, and he's a player who can bring you goals and also has a quite good a work rate. So he's a good player. You guys are getting in there.
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned Bode Glimt there. He had a spell with them where he scored 3 in 24. He didn't really seem to hit the heights. And then he made that transfer to Viking, and he seems to have never looked back. What was it about that transfer that sort of turned him into a different player?
I think you can see seen it on his stats, because he's a player that if he's happy, if he has confidence, he will shine for you guys. And you've seen some spells at start, some spells in Strømsgods, I think, and also recently at Glimt, when he doesn't have that confidence, when he doesn't feel he's the main man, he can get a little bit, I wouldn't say bored, but if he's the main man, he will shine for you guys. And I think that's the most important thing for the clubs where he scored a lot of goals there. There's been him. He gets to play week in, week out, and when he's in form, he will get the goals.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of Derby fans will be hoping that that's the case, because we really, really need goals at the moment. And when you look at him as a striker, I've mentioned he's a big number 9. We had a bit of a chat beforehand about what sort of player he is, but what will he bring to this Derby team? So for context, this Derby team really lacks a big focal point up front. Can he be that man?
I think what was important for his role in Viking was that he had wingers that often cross the ball into him, and also backs that set him up, even if it's set pieces in open play. And he's a striker that will beat around the box. He likes to get in those duels, get those challenges in front of the box, and he will not be the sort of the new number 9 that drops in deep to really link up the play. I think his link up play is not the best, but again, he will focus on getting into the box, and if you do deliver good crosses, he will get first to it, and he's a decent striker as well. So he's a number 9 that likes to get in the box, and if you could get good crosses into him, he will great chances.
As a defender, do you find that harder to defend against when a striker doesn't want to drop deep and get involved in play, when they sort of kind of linger between the two centre backs? Is that harder to defend against?
Yeah, I don't know really how Derby set up their play. I think a lot of new strikers now want to drop deep, so you get the wingers in behind. You're probably going to see that tonight with Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, when you get a number 9 that drags the defenders with you. But he's the old, I wouldn't say no nonsense kind of strike, if you can put that term in, but get you a fight, and if you're a defender against him, you know you're going to have some challenges, some duels in front of your own goalkeeper and own goal, and that's what he brings to the table. He will get in the box. He will try to get first on that crosses, and probably I wouldn't say he's a player like Chris Martin, your hero, but that sort of player that wants to get the crosses in and wants to get a chances and not drop deep. So I would personally say that if you meet a guy like Salvesen, you know you're going to have a night at the office.
Yeah, that's certainly interesting. I mean, thinking about players, I probably should have asked you this beforehand so you could have a think. But thinking about other players you've obviously played against and watched during your time as both a player and a pundit, are there any players you can think of that are kind of similar that people might know that, you know, he kind of reminds you of a little bit?
Well, realistically, I wouldn't like. He's left-footed, 6'1". He got a bit of pace in him as well, and he's a hard-working striker. He's not the type of striker that doesn't, work hard for your team. And what can I say? Maybe Robin van Persie, maybe Haaland. There's quite similarity with the hair and with the left foot. I'll go with a lighter version of Erling Braut Haaland.
There we go, Erling Haaland. So that's who we've signed in the Championship. That'd be good, wouldn't it? The connections were made straight away, as you can probably imagine. And interestingly enough, if Derby can win tonight, we're recording this before Leyton Orient, so hopefully we've won when people listen to this. If Derby do win tonight, they will actually face Man City in a few weeks' time. So it could be quite interesting to see Salvesen line up against Haaland at Pride Park Stadium, which would certainly be something. But when you think back of his time at Viking, are there any moments that really stick out to you where he's kind of really stepped up?
Yeah, I think he started quite well in pre-season in the year 2024 last season. He scored a lot of goals coming from crosses, and he had a bit of a down spell, I think, with the team. He didn't score the goals, he didn't get the chances, and even if he got some chances, he squandered them. And he did something in the summer. He worked really hard. He fought his way back, and he got the confidence back. And he's been a force for Viking in the last couple of games of the season, where he was outstanding and also a big part of Viking getting the bronze in the league as they did. So it was a good year for Salvesen. He showed that he faced the adversity of not scoring in a couple of goals in a couple of games, and I think that speaks of his character, where he can work hard even through bad spells.
Well, that's it. And Paul Warne, Derby's manager, makes a big point of when he brings players in, he wants the right characters, the right players around the team. Is he one of those good characters? Does he come across as a good guy?
Yeah, for sure. He's one of the nicest guy in the Norwegian league. He takes time with the fans. He takes time with the media. I think you're going to have a good time with him because I think he doesn't hate speaking in media. He likes being center of attention, and in the locker room as well. He's just a really nice guy. So I think you guys, if he can score some goals early on, I think he will just fly and shine for you.
Yeah, well, let's certainly hope so. One of the things that was brought up was to do with his injury record. Now, Derby have a habit, and this is why this has come up. Derby have a habit of signing players that are never fit. What's his injury record been like? Obviously, it's been brought up that he's had 2 ACL injuries in his career, obviously spread out over I think one was in 2017, one was in 2020 or something like that. What's his injury record been like in recent years?
Good. He had some smells, some, how do you say in English, some couple of knocks, because he is that type of player. He doesn't shy away for duels. But I think, as you mature, older you get, the more smarter the football club gets. He takes care of a body. He's a very professional player. And I can't really remember he had some struggles this year. I don't think so. I think he's been fit all this year last year, and I think he's a top professional that takes care of his body, and hopefully the ACL problems are gone.
Well, I hope you're right, mate, because We've had far too many of those in recent years. Honestly, Derby fans will listen to this thinking, "Oh God, Craig Forsyth again." But yeah, we can't have any more of this. And I just want your overall opinion, mate, on what we expect from him at Derby. You know, do you think he'll succeed at Derby? I don't know what length his contract is. That information hasn't come out as of time of recording. But he's 28 years old. He's obviously never played in England before. But you mentioned he's got really good character and seems to have a lot to his game. Can you see him succeeding over in the Championship?
Yeah, I hope so. I think so, and hope so. I think it ticks the boxes. He's a bit pacey, you know. He's good height on him. He loves getting the chances, and if you can contribute the crosses for him, I think he'll do good. But again, it's for strikers. You know, you need that confidence. If he can have a good start, get an early goal, and just build on that momentum, I think he will be really good for you. And I think also he's a type of characters we talked about that the other teammates are really going to take him in well, because he's a smiling guy who really cares about all his teammates and work hard. And I think the biggest question is really his move from playing on AstroTurf to now natural grass, which is probably it's not many teams in Norway that plays on normal grass, actually grass. So that's a thing he just have to adjust. But again, it's football, and if he gets the right delivery, he will probably have a very good spell at Derby.
Well, let's hope you're right. And Derby signed a player over the summer, Jakob Vidal Zetterström. He's a goalkeeper from Sweden. Obviously, I know all about Sweden, Norway, and everything there. Can you see a little bit of a rivalry forming between the two of them?
Oh, I don't think so. Norwegians are quite, in general, happy. Even Erling Haaland, he's one of the nicest guys I know. So Norwegian and Swedes, I don't know. They're friendly, quite friendly.
Well, let's hope you're right. I can imagine he'll be quite interested in training. I think Zetterström will be happy to have someone from that part of the world at the club as well. So, Rogvi, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciated you coming on at quite short notice as well. If people want to catch more of your work, or if they want to see your goal against Portugal, you know, where would they find all of that sort of stuff?
Probably on my Instagram account. I put the goal up daily on my feed. Or else just follow me on Twitter. I'll write in Norwegian, so you have to ask Lars-Jørgen to translate for him.
Fantastic stuff. Perfect. Thank you so much, Rogvi, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe. If you did enjoy, let us know in the comments as well. So, yeah, perfect. Great to see you. Derby have a striker. Oh my God, I can't believe it's finally happened. And let's hope that he can hit the heights that Rogvi thinks he can. So thank you very much, Rogvi, and we'll see you soon.